We're at DevLearn, and we're talking with Mark Oehlert, who has been really a Yammer presenter, I think 3 days straight.
3 days straight.
And an incident came up in your social learning camp. Could you tell us about that?
About the actual success story that we had?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So one of the things when we're doing social learning camp and we're talking about using social media for learning that always comes up is what are the case studies? What are the use cases, the ROI that people are finding when they're trying to use this? So one of the tools, one of the applications that we talked about today was Yammer, which, as you know, is a Twitter application for use inside the enterprise. Right? So one of the people I was talking to works for a company who builds wind turbines. Okay, so they get paid as long as the wind turbines are turning. Time to repair is an important metric for them. So I started talking about Yammer and how it could link these people together. The guy kind of took it to heart, went home, called his president of the company, told him about it. The president asked him how much it cost. The guy said, I don't know, I haven't researched it yet. By the time he got it this morning, the president had researched it, issued the purchase order, gotten the financial sign-off on it, told IT department to just get it done because he wanted it in-house. And by the time this guy gets home from the conference, they'll have implemented it, and they estimate the annual savings to the company to be between $3 and $5 million a year.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I mean,
I hope you're getting a cut of that.
I wish I was.
Say, Mark, the consultant, available for saving millions of dollars.
That would have been awesome.
Now tell me, I mean, I've attended some of your sessions, and you have people who are all over the map in terms of experience level and that sort of thing.
Sure.
What questions have sort of surprised you or stood out from all the stuff that you've had in the last 3 days?
You know, the questions have been kind of similar or expected in terms of, security and expectations and certification and accuracy and those kinds of issues. A couple thoughts, though, that are kind of radical have gelled for me out of all this. And one of the things that kind of as almost a mantra it's become is maybe one of the things as instructional designers we need to think about is stop being purveyors of content and start being purveyors of capabilities. That what we really need to teach people, we need to let go of the idea that we can actually cover all the content that needs to be covered and start understanding that we're going to cover all the capabilities that people need to have to deal with all this, right? I mean, at the Department of Defense, we did this at a military basis 8 years ago. We moved from threat-based to capability-based. We were going to stop worrying about the Russians coming across the Fulda Gap into Germany, and we were going to start worrying about if we had the right capabilities to do what we needed to do. So maybe as instructional designers, we need to do the same thing. It's a shocking thing, though, right? What if we're not teaching content?
Well, death of the class. I mean, how do we count this?
Death of content. I mean,
how will vendors charge us?
Exactly. I mean, that's something we have to grapple with, but maybe that's what we really need to look at.
Okay. Any parting words of advice for people who are just sticking their toe into the social learning arena?
Stick your foot in. If your toe's in, stick your foot in, because you don't really get the dynamic, you don't really understand the dynamic unless you're in it. I mean, this is social. It requires participation to understand.
All right.
And I think that's the important key.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Not at all.